Well, Gogue, I know you're all broken up about this, but I don't think we're going to be getting to Dylan White versus Alexander Povetkin this evening.
Oh, God. Thank God. I mean, what does that fight mean, Joe? I mean, honestly, they're both second tier. They had their chance, and now they're fighting each other to get that third chance. You know what I mean? Come on now. Big guys are just good opponents for the top tier guys like Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and whoever. Maybe that Dubois, Daniel Dubois.
Daniel Dubois.
When he gets more experience under his belt. Yeah.
Or maybe Andy Ruiz.
That would be what do you call it? That'd be a good crossroads fight between both, Dylan White, Andy Ruiz, and the winner, steps up to the next level and everything.
I agree wholeheartedly, but I tell you what, let's take a look at October 24th on the boxing calendar, Gogue, in which, it was just signed. They haven't, they announced it on Showtime a couple weeks ago, and it's going to be Leo Santa Cruz defending his Super WBA Super Featherweight title at 130 pounds against, be still my heart, undefeated Gervonta Davis. It's going to be featured on Showtime pay-per-view. It's going to be taking place on October 24th at the Mohegan Sun Casino in Uncasville, Connecticut. Gogue, this is something that we've been hearing a lot about, and we saw this down the road that it was more than likely going to happen. But are you a little surprised that it's going to be held not for Gervonta Davis's regular WBA strap at 135, but it's actually going to be taking place at 130 pounds? Were you a little surprised about the weight class?
Absolutely. Fat Boy can't even make 135. He had a hard time making 135 his last fight. Okay? You're talking about a guy that has no discipline between fights, who just lets his body, balloon up in weight and everything, okay? That, Joe, you can't, when you're young, you can get away with it, and, when you're getting ready for fight and bring the weight down and everything, because, you're still young, your metabolism's high, and the weight will come off you. But when you're getting older, boy, that weight, and when you get older and you still got those bad habits, Joe, that weight is hard to come off. Omar Figueroa found that out. Okay, but anyway, like I said, I was surprised. I was surprised that the weight he would come down to 130 and everything to fight Santa Cruz.
Well, I tell you what, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for one Gervonta Davis. He's going to be coming into the ring at age 25, almost age 26. His birthday is in November, so he's going to be a biscuit or a couple days under 26. He fights out of the southpaw stance. He stands, a very short 5'5" tall. He fights behind a 67.5-inch reach. From Baltimore, Maryland, he comes into the ring with a perfect record, 23 wins, 0 losses, 22 big wins coming by way of knockout. Gogue, it's Gervonta Tank Davis, and this is a guy who you've been, very, very high on since you saw him in the amateurs. Tell us about the strengths and weaknesses of Gervonta Davis.
Joe, he's a guy, a talented southpaw, okay, fast, explosive, and can punch with both hands and everything, Joe. Okay, guys like that with a lot of raw talent that you can't teach is, guys like that are hard to beat. You know what I mean? And Davis, like I said, Gervonta, he's just an explosive puncher, man. Like I said, that's God-given. You can't teach that. His explosiveness, his speed, you know what I mean? That's God-given. And it's hard to beat a guy like that. You know what I mean? When you're fighting, and especially when you're fighting when your opponent is fighting him in big fights and everything. So, and he's smart. He's Gervonta. He had a big amateur background, so he's smart. Okay, he understands how to be patient. How to work. How to work off his jab, to set up his combinations, to set up them explosive counters. How to, he knows. He knows how to use his footwork in that ring. Okay, to move away from punches, not staying there like a stationary target. How to back away, get out of range. He knows how to box you and everything in circles. Okay, but Yeah, but the thing is, Gervonta's game is he likes to once he knows that he can hurt you. Oh, he's like a shark that smells blood. Boy, he's on you, and he's going for the kill. He's going for the knockout, real, big time. That's what he likes, Joe. That's one thing I like about Gervonta Davis. He's an explosive puncher that loves knockouts. He has that mindset of, I'm going to knock you out. Okay, I'm going for the knockout if I get you hurt. I'm not going to let you off the hook and everything. But, without, that ain't good enough when you fight at the elite level. Okay, when you're fighting at the top of the food chain, you need good boxing skills. Okay, you need to be very patient. Very patient, very methodical, very intelligent. When you're setting up your attack. And Gervonta, big amateur background. National champion and all that. He knows how to set up his attack with good boxing skills.
So, what are his weaknesses, Gogue?
Weaknesses, Joe. Probably his lack. What his weaknesses, Joe? What he does between fights, nothing. Gets fat, lack of discipline, okay, lack of dedication, lack of being a professional, a full-time fighter between fights. All that stuff's going to catch up to him one day, Joe. It always does. Broner it caught up to, Omar Figueroa it caught up to, and the endless list of fighters who never followed the creed of being a professional 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a.k.a. Bernard Hopkins, okay? It always catches up to you, Joe. You can't half-ass in this sport between fights, okay, and expect to reach your potential as a fighter. And to me, that's his biggest weakness, Joe. It ain't his ability, his talent, his explosiveness, his hard punching power on both hands. You know what I mean? His instincts, his reflexes, his boxing skills. Oh, Joe, you can't. Like I said, it ain't that. It's what he doesn't do between fights to get to the next level. As far as in his discipline, his conditioning, okay, developing more skills and everything, stuff like that, Joe. You know what I mean? I always say that you get better between fights, Joe, not during training camp. Okay, training camp is just to get. Training camp is not. To me, it's not to get in shape, Joe. It's to get ready for a fight. Okay, you should be in shape going into camp. Okay. And how do you do that? You're a professional full-time fighter, 24/7. Always working on your craft between fights.
Indeed. Well, we're gonna find out very, very shortly to see if because he's facing the ultimate litmus test at 130 pounds, and guys, that's the WBA champion, Mr. Leo Santa Cruz. Let's take a look at the teletape. For the incumbent champion, Leo Santa Cruz, he's going to be entering El Terremoto is going to be entering the ring at age 32. He's getting ready to turn 32 on the 10th. Oh, I'm telling you, Gogue, you know what that means? That means we're old, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a youngin' when he first entered. Well, I tell you what, yeah. El Terremoto is going to be entering the ring at age 32. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands in the center of the ring, 5'7.5" tall. Fights behind a 69-inch reach. Originally from Mexico, now lives out of Rosemead, California. He has a fine record of 37 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 19 big wins coming by way of knockout. Gogue, this is a gentleman that we've spoken to on the show several times, and you've always been impressed with this gentleman's work ethic, the exact contrast of Gervonta Davis. What are his strengths and weaknesses going into this, in what Leo Santa Cruz says, the most important fight of his career?
Oh, what's the strengths is all of his championship experience and being in big fights, Joe. Okay, he's been in a lot bigger fights than Santa Cruz, and he's not shot or war-torn. Okay, Joe, he's a veteran that, he's still got a lot left in his tank and everything. Me personally, Joe, he's become he's evolved into a better boxer at range. Instead of, before, especially when he was in the lower weight division, he would overpower you, with beautiful, intelligent pressure fighting. Getting in the pocket, throwing beautiful combinations to the body, head, body. He was a proficient inside fighter. Okay, Joe. His technique was flawless at bantamweight 122. Okay, Joe. The way he put his combinations together to the head, body, head. His form, his stance. Hands up, elbows tucked in. His fundamentals were solid, Joe. Okay, solid. Okay. And after the Frampton loss, after he lost to Frampton the first time, he learned how to become a better boxer from range. Okay, counter punching, using his legs, keeping you at distance, using that long jab. Okay, Joe, that's what I'm trying to say. Instead of just coming forward and trying to mow you down with punches, he's finding out these guys are not gonna, they're not gonna lay down. They're tougher, more durable, stronger. So what do you got to do? You got to have more dimensions to his game, which he did, which has become a better, proficient boxer from range, controlling range and distance, working off his jab, counter punching, leading with combinations, and keeping the discipline to stay at range, Joe. Not, once you throw your combinations, you nail that guy with a combination, then you get on him with more and more. No, he maintains his discipline after he throws his combinations and hits you, and to keep his range, his distance, so he can keep working that jab, and it gets him hitless. He did it with Santa Cruz beautifully, and he did it in the rematch with Frampton. Surprise Frampton. Frampton thought he was just going to try to maul him like he did the first fight. No, he changed his tactics and boxed him from range.
Indeed, it was very, very impressive. Both fights were great time capsule fights. The first fight with Carl Frampton, it ended in a majority decision loss. And the second fight, that was a barn burner also. It resulted in a majority decision victory for him. Now, let me read you a quote here, Gogue. And let me ask you if this is going to be a factor. Now, once again, I already stated this earlier. According to Leo Santa Cruz, he stated this. He said, "This is the biggest fight of my career. It's a fight I've always wanted. I know people are counting me out and consider me the underdog, but I don't care. I'm really excited for this, and I'm motivated, and I'm already training hard for this fight. No one gives me a shot, but I guarantee you I'm going to shock the world." And he's dedicating this fight to his father, because not only has he been, battling spinal cancer in recent years, but now he's actually contracted coronavirus.
Oh, man.
So he said this, quote, "My father gives me motivation. I look at him and everything that he's been through, and it makes me work harder at what I do. If he said, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to dedicate myself and dedicate this fight to my father. I know I'm not going to have any trouble making weight, and I'm going to shock the world, and I'm going to stop Gervonta Davis." End quote. Gogue, I know that Santa Cruz is the dark horse, but when you look at the odds makers and the odds for this fight, boy, he is a live dog. He's sitting right now at a 2-1 betting underdog, and Gervonta Davis is surprisingly only a 275, a minus 275 going into this. He is less than a 3-1 favorite. Are you a little surprised that the odds are that close, or do you think that's right on the money?
That's right on the money, Joe. Like I said, Santa Cruz ain't no shot veteran, okay, who's had his good days in the past. He still has some good, until someone proves otherwise, he's still a live dog, like you said, Joe. He still could win this fight, okay? Just because he's an underdog don't mean, he's going to lose a fight. He can surprise everybody and put on one of the best performances of his life against Tank Davis, as long as he don't get hit by those big bombs of, Tank, especially his left hand or that right hook, okay? And boxes him intelligently from range and distance and in circles, okay? But, he's not, like I said, Joe, he's not like Abner Morris or Lamont Peterson, where they got, their good days were in the past. Until somebody proves it, nah.
That's very interesting. So what does he have to do against the always dangerous and explosive Gervonta Davis to capture or to retain his WBA super featherweight title?
Fight a very intelligent, disciplined fight from range. Okay, don't get in a slugfest with this guy, Davis. Okay, so that'll be his downfall. Just like Pedraza. You know what I mean? Pedraza tried to take it inside and got in a slugfest with him and got knocked out. You want to box intelligently at range and distance. Yeah, you want to box intelligently from range and distance, circling to his left. Boxing in circles. Moving to his left. Avoiding that big left hand as much as you can, and working a lot of touch jabs in his face, okay? Touching that jab in his face to keep, Davis at bay and everything. Then put those combinations together, right hand, left hook, right hand, straight down the middle, and pivot around him and everything. And just like I said, you want this fight at the fight he wants, that he will have a better success to win, which is at range and distance, okay? Using his footwork. That's going to be the key, Joe. Not being a stationary target. Moving intelligently in the ring. Joe, if you use your footwork, if you know how to use intelligent footwork in that ring, it makes your fight so much easier, okay? It gets you hit less, okay? Just knowing how to maneuver in that ring, okay? Getting your opponent out of position where you can't land them big bombs, okay? Michaela Mayer, that female fighter, she showed that the last time she fought on, that top rank card she headlined. Her footwork was beautiful. That girl, that girl she fought was, rugged and tough, and it was trying to bully her. But Michaela wouldn't let her have that. She worked her range, she worked her jab from distance beautifully, just to keep her at range and maneuvered around the ring where that girl can, that tough girl she fought couldn't set herself and position herself to get off with combinations or land the big bomb, so that girl can get any momentum going. And that's the same thing Leo Santa Cruz has to do. Uses intelligent footwork to keep Tank Davis off base. Don't let him set himself. Don't let him get in position to throw those big punches. And just like I said, it starts with the good footwork, intelligent maneuvering around that ring with good footwork, moving in circles, avoiding that left hand, working long combinations, okay, and that long jabs. Once in a while, if that hard jab's available, hit them. No, you got to get Tank's respect, okay, but a lot of touch jabs in his face just to keep him at bay and to keep Tank out of rhythm where you can't press the action and throw them explosive combinations. But don't get in a firefight at close range. No, not early. As the fight goes on and Tank he loses a lot of steam and he breaks down a little, then start taking it to him, but not early. The first 5-6 rounds are very critical, Joe. Very critical, where he can't get caught with those big punches. Indeed. And now going back to the weight, because obviously we're going to address that when you start talking about, the strategy for Gervonta Tank Davis. Well, it was brought up to Leo Santa Cruz, what's going to happen if he doesn't make weight? Well, Santa Cruz smiled and said, if he doesn't make the weight, it's going to cost him a lot of money. Yeah. So they've already factored that into the contract, Gogue. So let me ask you this, Gogue, would it behoove if Gervonta Davis is having some trouble slimming down to make 30, is it more beneficial for him to pull an Orlando Salido and just blow it off, pay the fine, and come in at full strength, a little bit heavier? If you're Gervonta Davis' trainer, Joe, I don't know what they have in the contract. I'm pretty sure they put specific weight clauses in there, okay? Like, you better make weight. If not, you're going to be fined $1 million. And they're going to have, hydration clauses, okay? Next day, you can't weigh more than, X amount of weight, If not, you're going to be fined some more, okay? Stuff like that. Yep. Well, so going into this then, what are the strategy to capture Leo Santa Cruz's Super WBA 130-pound title? Strategy for who? Leo? Gervonta Davis. Davis, like I said, I broke it down. He's going to box. He's he's not just a guy that just goes out there and tries to take you out right off the bat. He's a very intelligent boxer. Okay, puncher, counter puncher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Joe, you make mistakes, he'll counter you and hurt you because he can punch, and he's gonna box him intelligent. He's gonna press the action. Okay, because Santa Cruz got the length. Okay, so therefore Davis is gonna have to press the action. To get closer to him. Okay, to make him fight. Okay, work out that jab when he gets in range. Throw them fast, blazing combinations he throws. Okay. Hard too, Joe. They're hard. Then, like I said, once he nails Santa Cruz with a good shot, that's when he becomes a shark that smells blood. Get on him, And once Tank is in that rhythm where he knows that you ain't got much to offer, he's gonna keep on turning on that pressure and keep trying to land those big bombs and to take you out and everything. It's just an explosive puncher, Joe. But he's a smart boxer, Joe. He's not just a explosive puncher, but he's a smart, intelligent boxer with fast, sharp combinations and good counters too, Joe. He's smart. He'll set you up. Santa Cruz throws a right hand out there and stays there. Well, I guarantee you, Tank is gonna slip and counter with a straight left hand right over the top. Or if the Santa Cruz gets lazy and throws a combination and stays there, if he sees Santa Cruz's left hand low, he's gonna counter with that right hook. He's got a good setup. Joe, he's a natural fighter with a lot of God-given gifts. If he sees something, boy, he'll react, and he'll react explosively. Okay, Joe, you can't teach a fighter that stuff, Joe. That's God-given talent. Okay, gifts that God bless you with. Okay, the ability to react within a tenth of a second. And that's the kind of ability that Tank Davis has. Explosive, fast. And, he'll capitalize off Santa Cruz's mistakes by Santa Cruz's hands are low. Oh, he's going to get caught. Or Santa Cruz tries to, if Santa Cruz tries to get involved in a firefight with this guy early on, you might as well put the nails in the coffin for Leo. Okay? Stuff like that, Joe. He's just like I said, he's just a fighter. Tank is a fighter with a lot of natural gifts. Not a lot of discipline, but a lot of natural physical talents. And he doesn't fight a lot either, too, Joe. To help him evolve as a fighter, like all of them nowadays.
Yeah, that's it's a huge chink in the armor there, Gogue. Well, I tell you what, how do you see this fight playing out? Who wins this and why? Or do you want to wait to make your prediction the week of the fight?
I like to wait, but I see Leo fighting a very intelligent, cautious fight. The whole a majority of the fight, 6, 7, 8 rounds. Then when he feels Tank slowing down, he'll start taking more chances and putting pressure. What Leo does best and putting a lot of fast combinations. Okay, that's what I would do with Tank in the pocket. Throw a lot of fast, sharp combinations, just to blind Tank with all these punches and get back and then turn the corner. Okay, pivot around him. Okay, and make Tank turn. See, when you're fighting the puncher, Joe, how do you take away his power? Keep on turning him. Keep on making him reset his feet. Okay, and that's how you fight a guy with power. Keep on making him reset his feet, and that's what I would do with Leo. Just range and distance, fight smart. Beware of them counter shots and a lot of feints too. Yeah, Joe. Fundamentals, Joe. That's what wins fights. A lot of feints. Break Tank's timing and rhythm where he can't counter and put them combinations together and then stay on the outside and box. Tank, he's got to press the action and just be Tank. Let his hands go. Whether he's countering, whether he's leading with combinations, okay, or where he sees you make mistakes and he'll take advantage of the mistakes you made. That's just Tank. You know what I mean? Pretty much a natural God-given fighter.
Well, I tell you what, that was impressive, Gogue. So, this is going to be a tough one. Both of these fights are really, really intriguing, and I really hope both of these pay-per-views do well for both Showtime and Fox, respectively. But, I think it might be a little too much to ask of Joe Sixpack and your average boxing fan in this economic downslide currently in America. Gogue, if you had to choose, brother, and could only afford one, which very well may be the case with a lot of boxing fans, which one would you purchase and why?
Like I said, I don't know, just my preference. I like the Charlo fight, the twins in the pay-per-view.
I do as well, brother.
Great fight. And they got a great undercard, too.
Indeed. His brother's going to be in the co-main event. Well, I tell you what, Gogue, thank you so much for joining us on this special matinee edition of War Week Radio. Guys, Gogue's going to be back on Sunday evening. We're going to be talking about some of the fights happening this weekend. Gogue, do you have any parting shots for our audience this afternoon?
No, just thank you for tuning in, and let's see how these fights play out. We're in a different type of era of boxing right now, a different norm. Pretty much, we're just going to have to, weather this storm until, everything clears up, where fans could, start attending events and making boxing, exciting again.
Indeed, guys. He's a 3-decade fight trainer, Mr. James Gogue. James, thank you so much for being on the program, sir. Well, I tell you what, that's about it, guys. We went a little bit over time, but we want to thank James for devoting his afternoon to us. What a wonderful job, guys. If you missed any part of the show, it's going to be on YouTube later on this evening as well as tomorrow morning. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in.